AFTV Mo, it was a bit of a drab affair. 1-1. Is it a good point? Well, it wasn't a point, but is it a good result? Away goal, or you're not in your head? No.
No, I mean, look, if you're talking generally, not specific to this game, but European football generally, 1-1 in an away leg, you'd say, all right, yeah, that's a scoreline a lot of teams would take and say, we'll go and get the job done at home. And I think Arsenal will go and get the job done at home in Athens. But is it a good result based on the actual game that we saw today? Absolutely not. And I don't think we can pretend that it is. It's just baffling to me that, Aubameyang goes and scores a hat-trick in his last game. Today, he should have, maybe that's a bit harsh, he should have had a hat-trick, but he could have had a hat-trick and should have definitely scored 1 or 2. And I'm baffled, because here's a guy who, since he's come in, from day one, has been so impeccable in front of goal, so consistent. And then this season, and sometimes when we say since he signed his contract, I'm not attributing any sort of link between his form and the contract. It's just a coincidence. That's the only context I mention it in. But since he signed that contract, we've seen inconsistency from him that I've never, ever seen before. And I'm not too worried about it, because we've seen his record dating back to 2009, isn't it? We saw what they put out recently on social media. I think it was BT Sports, Sky Sports or whatever. And he's in that 200 goals club, with some mad talented names. So you kind of think to yourself, we know he's consistent, but just since he signed that contract, we've seen inconsistency, especially this season. And basically the last 2 games for me sum it up, so clear, just black and white, night and day. Hat-trick against Leeds, hat-trick of chances today, didn't even hit the target once. And I'm baffled by it. But what tells me is that
it's like the first chance knocked his confidence.
Yeah.
Because I couldn't believe he missed that. I thought he'd gone in.
Unbelievable. And when you see it, it's not even close. Like, even if he hit the post, that would be unacceptable from there. Even if it was inside the post, rolled across the line, it'd be unacceptable. The ball actually angles away from goal. He got it all wrong. And yeah, it seemed like it got to him, which is really surprising, because with Aubameyang, I know in previous games, sometimes this season he's missed chances, and I'll kind of say to whoever I'm watching it with, or if I'm like tweeting about it, I'll say next chance is going in, surely. And then lo and behold, next chance goes in. And I just couldn't believe it. And I think the third chance really showed us that it got to him, because he really overcomplicated it, whilst usually he's that sort of man that just says, bang, and it's done.
Yeah, and without his goals, we looked a bit lackluster in the game. I mean, first of all, let me just sort of rewind back. Penalty for you?
Listen, Robbie, when I know a rule, when I know that I know a rule and I've read up on the rule, I will give you my opinion and I will stick by that. I don't care what the masses say. I don't care what bias or exists in the fan base in terms of not being happy about a decision. I genuinely do not know the handball rule anymore. I don't. If that had gone directly onto Emil Smith-Rowe's arm, I would have said, yes, it's a handball. The fact that it's come off of his chest, and yes, his hands were raised, and you could say they shouldn't have been raised, but the fact that it came off his chest, to me, I thought to myself, hold on a second, is that meant to be a penalty? I didn't think so. But I don't know the rule anymore. I really don't. Do you?
Listen, I don't know what a penalty is. I ain't got a clue. It used to be, I don't know, man. It used to have, I used to like when the rule was, it has got to be a deliberate.
Yeah.
Right? But now you don't know whether it's deliberate, then it's unnatural position, and then there's just like, then another time he couldn't get out the way, then the next time he was in the way, and I really do not know what, and like you said, you know what I mean, it's not deliberate. It's obvious that the ball's been smashed at him. He's trying to take evasive action. I guess, the only thing you could say is that maybe his hand is in an unnatural position. But like you said, it doesn't go directly up on the hand. So
exactly. So
what else is he supposed to do there? What else is he supposed to do? I don't know.
Well, do you know what? The thing is, right, this is top-level football. If these things matter too much to be overly sympathetic. All right. If that is the rule, let's say, for example, you and I read the rule tomorrow and it says, doesn't matter if it rebounds off your own body, if your hands are in an unnatural position, it's a penalty. Then fine, stupid rule, but that's the rule. It's not the first time I'm saying that this season. And then it's a learning for Emile Smith-Rowe. You see top defenders, when they're in the box and they're trying to block across, hands are behind your back. And he'll just have to do that as well. The problem is, look, he's trying to do the right thing and he's in there, he's doing the job for the team, and he's not a defender either. Just how, like, if Hector Bellerin threw on goal and he doesn't put it in the top corner, I'm not going to be too critical of him because I don't expect a defender to specialise in that. And likewise, I don't expect Emile Smith-Rowe to specialise in this. So, look, I feel sorry for the guy because he was obviously very gutted about it. And, you could tell on the pitch that he was just kind of looking like, oh, man, really regretful. But it's not his fault. He played well. We'll go and do the job in the second leg. And that ultimately is not what cost us the game today. It was our lack of, clinical finishing. And that's not just on Aubameyang as well. That's on other people. Ødegaard, after brilliant work, should have shot. He decided to pass. Even Saka, who, amazing as usual, had a chance that he should have put on target. So there were a few occasions. And as a team, I think we have to take responsibility, make up for it in the second leg.
Yeah, the second leg, we do have the away goal. Is it as significant as it is over the last few years? Because the fact is, the next leg is another neutral ground. This is not,
Yeah.
So
it definitely isn't as sort of like beneficial as a proper away goal. But for me, away goals in general are the worst rule in football. I just wish we could get rid of the whole thing. This makes a real mockery of it. Goals scored in Athens count more for Arsenal. Goals scored in Rome count more for Arsenal. Goals scored in Athens. It's a joke, but it is what it is. It's an interesting dynamic, but ultimately it shouldn't be a conversation point because it's the same for all teams, right? So there's no team that stands to benefit more than the other. If, for example, there's other Europa League ties where the away leg might be neutral and the home leg will be at one team's actual home ground, then you kind of feel like, yeah, this is unfair on one team. That's not the case in our situation, so who cares? Just we'll get on with it.
Will we get the job done in the second leg?
I think we will.
So today, from what you saw at Benfica, are you confident that come the second leg next week, we'll get the job done?
Yeah, I think we will, Robbie. I think we saw enough today that we've got the beating of Benfica. Really, we should have had a comfortable win today, and I'm disappointed. I felt like, especially in the first half, the defensive line that they employed was awful, way too high. And I could not believe we didn't go into half-time ahead already. If they defend like that again, which I don't think they will, because I feel like they corrected it slightly in the second half, but if they defend like that again, I think, it will make life very easy for us. I think they will be better in the second leg because even attacking-wise, they didn't cause us many problems at all. I felt like we had real control in the game. So I think there were a lot of positive signs there for Arsenal to kind of turn around and say, look, we'll go and get the job done. And, now for me, it's just let's avoid a bad result against Man City as much as possible so we don't have a knock on our confidence. The one thing that does concern me, though, from today's game, going into Man City in an important second leg that will shape our season, is Aubameyang and Granit Xhaka's performances. Because Aubameyang, we need him firing. And Granit Xhaka, after a spell of a lot of good form, we saw the frustrations that we've seen way too many times creep back into his game again. Hopefully that will kind of wake him up and he'll cut those out immediately. We can't afford for him to go on a sloppy spell like we've seen in the past, because I like this new and improved Granit Xhaka and I want to see it continue.